Good evening. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. I'm changing things around a little bit. I've finished a series of posts and videos on the Western mystery traditions, and now I'm moving into a new area that I haven't really posted about or made videos about before, and that is Gaia's ascension and what's been going on. Now, I do not channel material. I function on the lower astral planes and report activity that I sense there or that I interact with at the lower levels that way. And it is often quite different than I would call the mainstream mainstream channelers. So that's one of the reasons that I'm making this video tonight. There's some big changes that I've just become aware of, and I think that the word's going to get out. I've been following and participating in Gaia's ascension since 2010, way back. People that have followed my blog are familiar with that. A lot of other people are not. But there's an important thing that's going on right now. There's a lot of important things that's going on, and I'm just going to make a few comments here. The name of this video pretty much says it all. Gaia chooses 4D heart over 5D mind. Now, if anybody that's been in the ascension movement is really going, oh wow, hey, Gaia is in the process of ascending to 5D or fifth density. And so she's making a quantum leap from 3D or third density, which is chemical reactions, skipping over 4D, which is basically the level of the heart, and going right into 5D. Now, anybody that really takes this seriously should be thinking, okay, the first thing was everybody was scared. I'm going to go back in history a little bit and say everybody was scared because Gaia was having a difficult time with her ascension. And so many people were afraid, hey, she needs help. There might not even be an ascension. And then all of a sudden, it's like, hey, this is going to 5D. It's going to be a 5D ascension. And almost every place that you look online is talking about 5D, fifth density. Now, and it's pretty well understood that Gaia herself has ascended to 5D or fifth density back in December of 2012. And she did. She ascended much further, much higher than that. But what people are not aware of, they're not talking about, is that humanity was not able to follow. And she kept a portion of 3D going, and is still going in the hopes that more of humanity is going to be able to ascend. Now, the idea of ascension is about awareness moving into higher levels of existence. What is happening is that Gaia has chosen, she's ascended and way into the upper levels, and she has chosen to come back down and stay behind in fourth density so that all life forms upon her can ascend with her. The lower life forms are not able to ascend on their own. She is taking them upon herself and bringing them into fourth density. Now, I was recently listening to a Fade to Black radio program by Jimmy Church. It was supposed to be with Corey Good, but he was in the hospital, so David Wilcock took his place, and they were talking about ascension. They were talking about a lot of interesting things, and one of the things that David Wilcock talked about was the raw material. The raw material came out, it began coming out in 1981 by Don Elkins, Carla Roykert, and James McCarty. I have all four volumes of the originals that I was reading way back when they came out. They are the first books, channeled material, that came out about fourth density, third density, fifth density, things like that. So the terms, that's where the terms came from. But there is a subtle thing that's always bothered me, and I'm finally going to just bring it straight up. In the raw material, there are entities that are service to self entities, and there are entities that are service to others. Now, service to others are it's not as difficult to ascend as service to self people. One of the things that I find pointed or interesting is that David Wilcock in his material apparently does not talk about the service to self people and chooses to talk about the service to others, pretty much. By that, what I mean is that it's pretty much focused on what you call the good guys and not on the bad guys. That doesn't really matter. But the thing is that the service to self, this is according to the same material that he's quoting, that he quotes from, that is the foundation of his own research and belief. Service to self entities skip fourth density. They go, in their ascension process, they try to go from third density to fifth density, which is of the mind, which is of the mental energies. And it skips the fourth density. The fourth density is of the heart, the higher emotional energies. You can think of fourth density as the land of fairy, the land of, it's organic life, basically. And the raw material made it pretty clear that skipping fourth density was the modus operandi of service to self entities in the ascension process. They considered the entire fourth density experience to be a waste of time, whereas service to others, entities that were service to others, really felt that that was an important level to experience and to explore because it was of the heart. Now, as we've followed Gaia's ascension process, it started out really trying to go to the fifth density in the mind. In the mind, they're talking about getting higher and higher and higher. And it was only in the last few years that people said, get out of your head, start going into your heart. It was that return to the heart energies that made a massive shift in Gaia's ascension process. And what's happened is that a lot of the people, the humans, the souls that were capable of ascending into fifth density and above did ascend along with Gaia and went up as high as they could go. And then they chose deliberately to come back down into fourth density and help other fourth density entities. That's what's going on now, and that's what Gaia has chosen. And this whole ascension thing of fifth density is a scam, really, because it's trying to skip that all-important heart energy. And it is a service to self operation. If you're one of these light workers and you're talking about light, you're talking about love, you're talking about the heart, you're on the right track. If you're talking about the higher energies, the mental energies, and if you're in your head and your heart, you're not in your heart, you're not listening to your heart, you're missing the boat. Because this is a profound thing that people are missing. Now what's happening is it's becoming pretty evident, because these higher levels have ascended. This war has still been going on, but for Gaia, for humanity. But it was won, and Gaia and a lot of these high intensity, high vibrational beings, souls, have come back and are anchoring Gaia in fourth density as a fourth density ascension, which is normal. That's the normal stage. You go from third density to fourth density to fifth density. That's the normal thing, and that is the normal thing that's happening at this time. But people still are not, they're not talking about it yet, but they're going to be, because it's going to be pretty obvious. I'm running out of time right now, but this is an important thing, and I'm the first to bring it up. I've been the first on quite a few things. So if you like this, comment below. Donate if you want. I'm going to set up a Patreon account, but don't worry about it right away. Mainly, just kind of try to get your head around these things. I am going to be covering UFOs, the space program, and the ascension more fully than I ever have. Thank you for listening. Good night.